So welcome everyone to Thursday night yin. Remember, if you have a support, something that you need or want to help influence and deepen your journey, feel free to have it nearby. We're going to be using it tonight and not using it, so just make sure it's nearby, and remember it can always be used as a head pillow. So let's start on the floor. And again, that's why I suggested the head pillow. That way, when you lie down, you can relax and just let yourself get into a comfortable position. So what's really important about every comfortable position we do is that we stretch out, relax along the floor. I think actually right here, this will be better for me. Perfect. And as we relax out on the floor, just bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Just start to take deep breaths in and deeper breaths out. See how deep you can go. Inhale fully. How full can you be? Feel. Suspend at the top of the breath and exhale. How much can you relax? Good. Full inhale. In honor of that moon that fills itself, it waxes and then it wanes. Exhale. As you exhale more, you push the breath out, you'll feel all sorts of strong sensations occurring down along the spine. Good. Now that we're here and we're relaxed, if you have the head pillow, you can release it to the ground. No need for it now, so just place it up above you. And then from here, wherever you are, soles of the feet to the floor. We're going to start to do some tailbone tilts. Tailbone tilts, so nice gentle movements with the tailbone. And as we make these gentle movements with the tailbone, slowly, we're going to start to lift upward. A little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. Just moving nice and gently through bridge pose, working through the tailbone. Some of us have had very long days. Some of us have had very energetic days, right? I think the practice is here to balance us, right? If we're excited, it's to bring us back into sweetness, right? Into balance. If we're too low, too slow, it's to bring us that sweetness, right? To bring us back into balance. So it's just that magic element, right, that we call the prana. Good. When you're ready, take a deep breath in. Supercharge that prana. Use your elbows. So I'll come a little closer to show you. Use your elbows to really dig down into the ground. And as you dig into the ground, right, allow yourself to come up. And as you come up, stretch your arms underneath you. If this is too much, you can grab that bolster and throw it underneath your hips and take it more like a restorative. I know I'm going to get really hot in this position. Part of the reason why I chose it, good way to warm up our yin. It's a strong position. It's a powerful position, and it really teaches. And again, the first minute, I always say it's all about being comfortable. So again, wasn't comfortable with the sweater. The socks got to go too. Not comfortable with the socks. Right, and these are when you make these decisions in the first minute, because we got a long ways to go. Good. Starting here, feeling here. Lifting up, good, finding that position, and then walking those hands underneath, stretch the arms. Good. And now once here, if you stretch the arms right, or you're just relaxing or using your elbows, whichever you want to do, you can hold your heels. There's lots of options. Relax your head. And then lift your hips a little higher. Right. Walk your shoulders in a little bit more. And then close your eyes, go inside. If you're not already there, right, looking for that motivation through the teachings, which is first get comfortable, right? So again, a little bit of bouncing might help with being comfortable, relaxing the head. But now that we've passed the minute marker, right? Starting to get a little quieter in our movement, right? And what are we looking for? We're looking for that comfortable edge. When I say quieter, it could actually be on an auditory level louder, right? Because the breath is being focused upon. All your awareness is on your breathing, which is something that wasn't happening all day today, right? That's not something that we generally do intuitively. We don't focus about our breathing as we go about our business. The practice of yoga is to make the breathing your business, that which is happening all the time, all around you, right? Being a part of its connection. Inhaling and exhaling with all this talk of pollution, being so grateful for the fact that we can breathe these deep, clean breaths in and exhale these deep, clean breaths out. One of the great joys that I get from teaching is just saying those two magic words. Inhale, exhale. As you inhale, you lift up. As you exhale, you lift up even higher and relax. It's a strange sensation once you find it here with the yin. Really good to open up with this posture. And remember, if it ever gets too much, right, just take that support. That's why I threw it above my head, and then you can just place it underneath your hips if necessary. Okay. It's okay for me. I'm just going to keep it above my head for now. Right. Reconnect with my posture. Good. And lift. Again, eyes closed. Breathing all the way in. All the way out. And again, imagine you're floating up, right? Allowing yourself to float up from the tailbone all the way through to the heart, then to the third eye center. Let your vision be on your hips lifting up, 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 up. Nice and strong. For 10, you got this. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Before we close, 1 Brahmari. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Lower to the ground, and in classic yin form, take a whole minute to rest and relax. Again, you can always follow the counter stretching that I do just because it's intuitive, right? I like to drop one leg at a time now, especially after all that power in the hips. Again, there's lots of options here to do. Move around, explore your body, explore what feels right for you. Right? That's the beauty of the practice. Sometimes it might even be strengthening things, right? Like coming up a little bit and bringing your knees into your chest, right? Lots of options here for us. Fantastic, guys. So as we take that whole minute, just really getting that experience of what that was in bridge pose. And as we, get to that 3-minute marker, we start to affect the ligaments of tendons. And that's when you start to really work that posture week by week. And, it comes and goes, but that pose never really leaves. And especially if you come to core, we do it too. But in the yin, we really emphasize that pushing of that tailbone up. That pushing of the tailbone up. So now, in the next posture, happy baby, you're going to pull the tailbone down. Okay, so this time when you grab the feet, right, and you lie down, tailbone comes down. So I'm going to try and show you a little bit better by letting go of my feet, but just imagine that I'm holding my feet, okay? Tailbone down. I just don't want you to get the idea that I'm actually like dropping my tailbone, because if I drop my tailbone, look what happens to my legs, right? So if I hold my legs and drop my tailbone, that's the sensation. Right now we're in the happy baby. Deep breath in. Deeper breath out, let it go, let it flow. And if at any point you feel in the first minute that, wow, maybe my head is going to be tired from lying on the ground, right? Just quickly come out, grab a pillow, right? But then that's it, right? You got to know yourself in the first minute. After the minute, of course you can always come out. But the whole point of the yin is to see if you can get to that place of surrender. If you can find the comfortable edge. So where is that comfortable edge? Tailbone down, head is relaxed, feeling, breathing. Okay, I accelerate. Let's say I'm 10 breaths later. Actually, that's not true, right? You can find it in a single breath. There it is, I got it. Right, so when you find it, right, can you stay there? Can you remain there? Can you be there? And that's the journey. That's comfort to comfortable edge, and then finally into relaxation. Because you can only surrender or understand what surrender is if you're relaxed. There's no way to surrender unless you're relaxed. Because it's not really surrendering, right? Surrendering is just like jumping into cold water on a hot day. That's what surrendering is like, just. And then surrendering is being in that water until it warms up. Right, and it's just this idea of no matter what the temperature, whether you're going from hot to cold, cold to hot, hot to hot, cold to cold, positive to positive, negative to negative, whatever it is that we're exploring, whatever Cartesian plane that we're trying to find, to remember that the breath is the breath, and it flows through all these states. Heat and warmth, right, in the body as we breathe. But you'll notice as you hold these positions longer and longer that there's maybe sometimes a surge of heat, like a very powerful surge of it. And then after that surge of heat, there might be some quivering or shaking. That might mean it's too much, it's too difficult, or you're starting to get through it, or you need to back off a little bit. Or maybe it's just the opposite. It's that liberation. It's how we endure, right? And we just relax. For me, the feeling has been both ways. Sometimes I can do this and it feels awesome. And sometimes I can do this and it feels not so awesome. But the reason why it feels awesome and not so awesome just depends on how often I do it, right? Yoga is an everyday practice. And so holding here, being here, you really get to experience just that release of the cobwebs, the connective tissue, ligaments, tendons really getting worked here. We're really going to feel it even more through those hips as we begin to progress. But that's the point, right? Let's get those hips nice and strong. Let's really put the pressure on ourselves rather than have to face the pressures, that are coming. Right? If we're strong, then we can endure those pressures. Just like coal becomes a diamond, so to us, each time we practice, go a little deeper into the earth, a little deeper into ourselves, a little deeper into our hearts, until we realize that's just what we are. We are the earth. We are ourselves. We are the heart. Good. 10 breaths, let it go, let it flow. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful work, guys. But before we close, right, one Brahmari. Just one Brahmari. Deep breath in. Beautiful, guys. Slowly coming out, relax the soles of the feet to the floor, arms out to the side, windshield wiper the knees, left and right. Again, just let it go, let it flow, let the energy flow through you. Right? That's the whole point of the yin. Now that we've activated it, we're grounded. One of the things we were focused on today in core class was, can we feel the lightness in the body right? The feeling of that uplifting feeling we got from bridge. And then, although we were doing the work, and we get that feeling of that lifting feeling that it's effortless. That's the work, right? So it's effort until it's effortless. It's hard until it's not. And we've all faced those challenges, and we notice just it's time. And change is the only thing that doesn't change, right? That's the one constant of the universe. So very important to go with it. To go with our changes, especially chronologically through time. Very important. Wonderful, guys. When you're ready, left or right side, with helping hands, come on up. All right, fix the camera. Perfect. Good, and we'll put a little bit more light. Hiya. All right, fantastic. All right, guys, from here, opening up the legs nice and wide, right? Start to come up a little bit. Come up a little bit. Good, and then left and right. Right as we go left and right, just relax. Right, let it flow, let it go. Good, this is our first minute. So again, starting to slide forward. And again, we don't attack a mountain, right, by going straight up. Right, we go, I don't mean attack, but to attack a mountain is to literally go side to side. And again, we want to move side to side. We want to attack the mountain, right? Side to side. That's how we get to the top. Good. So slowly lead, and you might even feel it in your ribs. Maybe, on one side it's feeling really good, on the other it's not. Just let it flow, let it go, right? Just let it relax. Ooh. Right? Feel. Reaching. Twisting, one arm out, one arm in. Again, this is all about you getting comfortable. Good, that feels about right. Once here, point toes, curl toes, get into a good way. And then what I like to do for dragonfly is I like to work on the elbows. So let's say this was my maximum stretch. Okay, I'm here, this is my max stretch. I feel like this is my comfortable edge. I start bending the elbows. And I almost imagine as if I'm using two rattles, and just up and down, nice and slow. And I close my eyes and I feel. And as I'm feeling, I start to relax the head, closing in on it. And then I might notice that I can walk my fingers a little more. And I'll do that until I can no longer bring my elbows as easy to the ground. And it's always in the same spots where I feel it, deep down in the hips, right? Maybe somewhere in the sort of upper lower back, right? There's lots of places it can be. But I notice as I continue to yin my way through this experience, meaning we're going to be holding for a longer time than usual, you really want to hunker down. You really want to get as comfortable as you can. So stretching out to that point where you can no longer get the elbows down, then back up a little bit. And then play with that, because that's really truly the comfortable edge on a physical level. The way I can explain it to you in another way is like, imagine a ledge, right? Physical reality is physical only up to a point. And that's where I always say it. Once you reach the ledge, that's where physical reality ends, and, greater phenomena and other possibilities begin. But the physical reality for us is right there. That's the physical reality. And one step over that reality, right, that's too much. So we can stay balanced right up to that reality. And it doesn't matter how close we go to it. There's no worry or fear of falling, because you're safe and you're free. And that's what we use, our will, in order to surrender. So relax the head, right? Let it go, right? Relax everything. Find that point where you can't get those elbows anymore down to the ground. And then just back up a little bit. And then just play. And you'll notice over time, relaxing the head, calming down, everything will start to grow quieter and quieter. And you'll notice that over time as you hold the position, everything is getting quieter and quieter, because now your only concern is on the breath, right? And that's very, very important, that your only concern forever be because of the breath, and on the breath because it's yoga. Right? And yoga's sole concern is with the breath. until it's not anymore. And that's the experience of yoga. So it's a really easy way to explain meditation, to really explain, what true yoga is. Focus on the breath until you don't focus on it. If you're an emotional person, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? When we're happy, when we're sad, when we're feeling hungry, all these things, all these sensations literally can just make us feel something in a moment, right? When we talk about, the experience of yoga, right? That's to be free of all that, all those feelings, all the thoughts. When people ask, what is meditation? Ask yourself not what it is, ask yourself what it is not. Because in that state, you're just pure being. You're just sitting and being. You're just lying down. And what we want to do as yogis is bring that experience of meditation into our postures. That's why Yin is just such a beautiful time to practice, reflect on the teachings, and go even further into the experience, increment by increment, moment by moment, posture by posture, as we flow through. Just allow that seventh chakra, that top or crown of the head, all the way down, 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 towards the ground. And that's where it becomes like a dangling fruit. And the lower it goes, the more you feel it in the abdomen, in the organs. So this posture just really keeps inventing itself. And you'll feel it all through your legs. It's all connected. The curl we talk about in our bodies, the strength that we've seen through gymnasts or great athletic yogis, right? Or hatha yogis. If you pursue that path, you can have that connection from the crown of your head to your tailbone, from your nose to your toes. But holding the yin is really important. Staying at this depth is really important. Learning how to endure is really important. It's all important because it's all how we allow ourselves to accept the things that we cannot change, and then learn when we can have the courage to change the things we can. And of course, as the prayer goes, the wisdom is in knowing the difference. And that's, I really believe, is the yoga. The yoga is in knowing the difference. Beautiful, guys. Let's do one Brahmari to say goodbye. Close the posture. Deep breath in. Coming up, right? Take your time. And then again, just start to reach side to side. Come down from the mountain. Left and right. This is a beautiful one because, again, it really affects the hips, the legs, the hamstring, but also deep into the rib cage. There's so much emotional issue, right? There's so much emotional tenderness, like concept here, both physically and emotionally. Remember, there's more matter than mystery. So as yogis, we're more concerned on, what it is we can possibly understand about ourselves, through ourselves, and for ourselves. This is only important for you, and that's the beauty of the practice. If you can understand that, then you can take something serious, anything serious, because you take yourself serious. Right? It doesn't matter what it is. Old teaching my mom said to me once, it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you do your best. Right? And that grew into, don't ask yourself what the world needs, ask yourself what makes you come alive and do that, because what the world needs are people who are truly alive. And that's what yoga is all about, being alive to your living, awake to your waking, acknowledging the breath that is happening in every moment of every day. Beautiful, guys. Always taking that time is really important. Sometimes more than others, depending on what posturing we're doing. Okay, so now we're going to go to a posture we haven't done in a while, known as square pose. All right, good. So this is a really nice posture, and for some of you, it can even be as delightful as a double pigeon. So again, we're gonna roll left and right. So I like to do this just a couple times. It feels good. It doesn't matter. Right leg is in front, left leg is in front. But again, if you just want to follow along with me, right leg is in front. Do 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 do. Right, just roll it left and right. It feels so good. Left, right, left, and right. Beautiful, guys. Now, I'm gonna go right side. So I'm on my left. So with my right leg, I'm gonna take it to my knee, and then very gently, notice my hand is still behind me. Now I don't need to, right? I can balance, and I'm sure you can because most people twist here. But what we wanna do is let's go there for that twist, right? Let's go there for the twist, but that's not our intention. Our intention is to bring this knee over to this foot. So we're gonna do it slowly, right? Slowly. If you wanna feel the apex, and I know there's some of you that do, especially those that seek that Kundalini feeling, right? Elongate the spine, see where the sacred tremor lies, right? And then again, with that elongation, see if you can even bring the foot there without grabbing hold. There's lots of different ways that we can take something and make it new, right? But square pose is new for a while. We haven't done it in a while. Curl the toes here. Notice the space between the knee and the foot. That's natural, right? That will disappear with time. And again, one of the great ways to do that is by starting to bring some weight through the arms forward, relaxing forward, relaxing forward. And again, it's nice and easy. At first, you'll notice the space is being slowly pushed down. And then, as you know from anyone who's come to core class, right, heart forward, heart back, heart forward, heart back, that gentle rocking motion. And again, just like a baby rocks to sleep, that simple rocking motion can bring you right into a meditation state, right? Because it's rhythmic. As long as it happens, right, in a way that is so soothing that you don't even have to worry about moving, right? So you just keep feeling it, and it's just coming, right? And the looseness in the body and the stress and all that involuntary connection is relaxing. So we have lots of time to go nose to toes. But remember, even as I'm teaching and giving all the little pearls of wisdom, remember always breathing all the way in. And out. And now, just like the yogis we are, scientists, explorers, right? That's the nature. What are we exploring? Ourselves, you know, the space within us, right? The space that surrounds us, right? Whatever is within our field, whatever our awareness allows us to perceive, right? We're moving forward into the posture. The only thing that's going to limit you is the physical. That's good. Listen to that, because that is the mental. And through the breath, you'll figure out the emotional. What will it take to relax that hip? Imagine you could just relax it. Well, if I could do that, then it would just go straight down. But watch what I'll show you as I crawl forward, right? If you've never seen the awesomeness of square pose, as you crawl forward and get more comfortable, right? This feels good. Now, if I lift up, right, everything shoots back up. But if I come forward, everything fits nicely, feels good. Yes, it feels intense, but I can endure that intensity because the breath says I can. If my breath was short and erratic, like I do when I go into a handstand or a push-up, well, you don't want it to do that in a push-up or a handstand, but just trying to give you an example of something that's hard or difficult, that the breath might become short, steady, maybe a little more athletic breathing, right? Less natural, a little bit more nervous, getting ready for fight, flight. This is the difference, right? We're going into full surrender. That same dropping of the head, relaxing the crown of the head down. So good for the hips. And that's why I was saying earlier about the double pigeon. If you really get into this posture, you're going to feel it as a double pigeon, double pro pigeon, because that's what we say. Usually you do pigeon and then you do pro pigeon off to the side. But this is really nice because this is really a double pigeon. That's the beauty of the square pose. And again, you can anchor it in any way you want. You notice I'm teaching. If you are watching the screen, I just kind of now somehow from going forward to now, I can just keep this here and everything is nice and this feels good and able to teach clearly to the camera, right? That's the beauty of this practice to you. Now, The interesting thing, if my head is down, then I'm talking to the back of the room. But if I was doing square pose, that's the way I would want to do it, right? Because you want to feel the curl, right? You want to feel the curl all the way through, right? And that would be the beauty of that. So again, learning from this posture, right? Taking lots of time, relaxing into it. It's all about that breath. And that breath brings you into a deeper state of surrender. And what are we surrendering? The human. Why? That's what we struggle with, right? That's what we suffer with. But if we learn to suffer, then that's all we've ever learned. But if we learn how to suffer, then we can struggle. And if we can struggle, then we can liberate ourselves. And if we can liberate ourselves, it doesn't mean that we're not struggling, and that doesn't mean that didn't come from the suffering. It just means we've learned a few ways to help relax, to help find what is comfortable to us, and how to stay there and be there in mind and body through breath. Good. One Brahmari to close this side of the square pose. Deep breath in. Very good. Slowly coming up. Roll back onto that left side so the right knee lifts up. And now, very gently, just swing your left arm across, grab hold of that knee, and come into a nice twist. And that space now from the ground, you can feel it. So some people ask, what should I feel? A lot of teachers say, put both sit bones on the ground. That's not always possible, especially the larger, sometimes the bones can sit in different places, right? It just changes our bodies in different ways. How large the pelvic floor is, right? How much space there is in the pelvis. Just amazing how much variance there can be between genders, between ages, between people. It's incredible. So again, don't force yourself to put that down, right? The way I started was, just that gentle journey, right? Whatever it is in yoga, if you have to force it, if you have to fix it, if you feel like you must do it, that's not yoga, right? The only thing you should feel that you must do is yoga, right? Not any of the postures, right? If something doesn't feel right, don't do it, right? The whole point is to go injury-free the whole way, because there is no injury in yoga. Yoga is here to liberate and realize. We get injured when we don't do yoga, right? And so all I'm doing is just sitting on that sit bone and just allowing that twist to now happen, maybe from the hand, and that lifts me up, gives you the sensation of what a twist should feel like as we move through it. And again, very relaxed, very yin. Even though the posture is upright, even though you're using your core, right? This is excellent for your sitting position, because if you can sit upright, twisting, right? Imagine how good it feels when we go into square pose on the other side. Right, and then we sit through that, and then we finish. How is it going to feel? It's going to feel amazing. Deep breaths in, deeper breaths out. Again, I can find more space to move in, but only so far where that shake comes in. And again, if you're pulling into it, it's different than reaching for it. And that's where we were talking about in weeks previous, where I want to reach. We don't want to grab. We want to reach, we don't want to grasp. We're going to grasp, we don't want to reach. One or the other, but the man's reach exceeds his grasp. That was it. So we want to reach, we don't need to grasp. So that was the metaphor, or of the line, the analogy. Good, guys. And let's say one strong Brahmari to echo through our bodies. Deep breath in. relax that leg out in front. Give it a little shake. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. Good. When you're ready, left leg now over to the opposite side. And again, we're starting from that right corner and we're going to go over to the left. So again, it's just a slow, gentle journey, right? Slow, gentle journey, right? Right, just like, feels like a plane taking off from the top of a mountain, right? Or something shooting off from the top of the mountain straight off into space, straight towards the stars. So it's like the energy from Everest or the energy from Machu Picchu surging out, right? That's what you want to feel. And then bringing it through, right? Slowly, slowly. This foot, it all fits together with the knees. It's all supposed to lock this way. Humans were meant to sit this way. Okay, not everyone, right? It takes time. That's why I said, don't worry, I can't, right? Look at the space. I didn't grow up sitting on the floor, right? So there's still space. Remember, when I started yoga, I couldn't touch my toes. That's the incredibleness of all this, right? That's why it's not chronological. It's just an experience, right? You just got to keep doing it. Practice, practice, practice. All right, so here comes the knee. And as the knee comes through, right, start to relax, start to weight it, right? That's my favorite part, right? Just start to relax it down, relax it down. And if you'll notice, right, as it's coming down, it's actually going to come right into this socket, right? It'll come right there. So I can already see, and that's what I'm kind of aiming for. So it doesn't always, right? But your body tells you, right? If you don't do it, your body tells you. So even if it's wrong, right, it's not that far off from being right. And that's a good thing to always remember with your yoga practice, especially when you're practicing on your own. You might want to come into this posture, right? You might forget, what do I do from here, right? Just relax. Remember, always match, right? Kneel, knee, heel, right? Feel. Put the weight on. And now let's start to come forward, right? Just like we did before in Dragonfly, right? Start to relax the head. Head's getting heavy. Feeling that stretch all the way through, right? Coming down. And you'll notice as your weight starts to drop, as the heart starts to come over, right? Sort of that center line where we're crossing over from back bend to forward fold, right? You'll see that the knee is dropping down. And as I move left and right, it comes down even further. Why? Because it's right back here. The pocket is sort of in the lower back. And so it's kind of like, there, see? Now it's down. See? I can feel where it is in my lower back. But that consciousness isn't always there, right? It's kind of like an involuntary muscle spasm. It's just kind of like oh, my knee doesn't go down. But it actually does if I allow it to. And what is that? That's breaking free of all that fuzz, right? All that buildup, all that connective tissue, right? Remember, connective tissue is like the cellophane. It wraps all the muscles. Every muscle fiber with every other fiber wraps your muscles, helps just, tissue just really helps, and lining really, really just helps things to stay nice and organized. But again, we want to break through it because we don't want to have that false support or facade. We want to move through it, right? Strong, stable, but also flexible, elastic, gentle journey inward, more and more, breath by breath, moment by moment. Doesn't matter how many days you've done yoga, right? What matters is how many practices have you experienced, right? It's all about the practice. And again, I'm only not dropping my head because, again, it just sounds different on the audio. So again, just remembering, if I could, though, I would drop that head and relax. Just let everything dangle. Right, slowly, slowly, enjoying your gentle journey. Before we say goodbye to this side, Right, we're going to do one Brahmari nice and strong all together. Deep breath in. And slowly coming up. Again, exit through the right side. That's the side that lifts the leg. Move it around. And when you're ready, take that right arm, reach it, and then the left arm comes behind you. And you can relax. And again, as we're saying on the other side, right, when you're here, lift your heart, right? Your hand can sit underneath just your sit bone and see if you can sit on your hand, right? It's not a bad thing, right? It's actually will help you balance yourself out nicely. But of course, if you feel the pain, then obviously you don't need the hand, right? You can just let it go. But the beautiful thing is holding it nice and tight. There's a feeling of safety. There's a feeling of security. There's also just a really nice natural counter twist here. And as you breathe through it, there's nothing harder than breathing through a twist, right? The only thing is harder is upside down. The only thing harder than upside down is underwater. Right? So breathing, or I guess top of the mountain and underwater would be the joke, but you know, that's what it's all about. Twisting and breathing is the toughest, right? It's tougher than the back bend, tougher than the forward fold, it's tougher than the side bend. Twist, it's a tough one, right? And you got to open it up, got to learn to feel that full expansion. So there's a lot of movement. That's the one thing it's really hard to convey to you guys through the internet. Just how much energy or how much movement is coming out of the chest. Right, when we were all together, we could train together in the same space, but now, you know, it's got to get implied. Thank God we've all trained together before in the past. But the feeling of this energy, right, this circular embodiment where you almost balloon yourself up. Oh yeah, you can feel all sorts of magic. That's why don't hesitate to linger at the top of the breath, right? It's a beautiful sensation. And remember, if there's any health concerns, right, you know, right, if creating pressure in the body is good for you, right? And if you don't know, don't do it for very long, right? Don't ever give yourself a sensation where you get a symptom or a side effect. If you do, you've gone too long, right? Or ask a doctor, or ask your, you know, healthcare professional, or ask your, you know, very, very knowledgeable friend that you trust, or ask your teacher, right? But ask a few people. Don't just put all your faith in one thing, right? If something's going on, always ask a few sources. That's how you get the best or most reliable story. Good, and let's do one Brahmari here. Deep breath in. Awesome, guys. One of the best things we can do is just bring the soles of the feet to the floor and just windshield wiper our knees side to side. And if we do this going a little bit closer to ourselves, forward fold, backward bend, hips and heels are almost together. And it almost is hard to do this, but it feels so good in the lower back. So trust me, if you've never tried it, try and get really narrow while you do your movement forward and back. Right, left and right, super good feeling. Fantastic. All right, beautiful. All right, how do I want to show this? We'll show it from the side again. Good. So we're going to lie down on the ground, but this time we're going to use our support. So whether we have a bolster or a pillow, we're going to lie down on the ground, so nice and relaxed. Just take it easy there. And again, we're going to sort of revisit where we came from. So we started with bridge pose, but we're going to go a little bit more, take a look at just how those hips are doing. Okay, so lift those hips up high, place the wobble cushion or bolster. We always talk about you can use many different things. There's different sizes of bolsters, which are really great too. That's the fun part, round ones, square ones. Right, again, they're just a support, right? A bicycle still means two wheels, right? So again, to do all these things with the support means we're working toward doing it without the support. And again, we don't ever need to get to where we are with the support, right? Of course, we can all get into headstand perfectly or handstand perfectly with the support. It's hard to do it without. And that's the journey. So remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, nor is your practice. I say this because look, I was one of the ones in the very beginning of yoga too that didn't realize that yoga wasn't a competition, right? And because I didn't know that, right? Suffered the consequences of that, which is you push too hard because you're competing. There's no reason to compete, right? Take things slow, right? Learn to relax, right? And we learn to relax by first getting comfortable. So as you notice, just getting comfortable, the bolster's on my lower back, and I'm just bringing my knees into the chest. And what I want to start to feel is this sort of backward movement, because our next posture is going to be snail. So it's a little different than the happy baby, because it's all about how much pressure you want to put onto your back. So I'll show you it in levels. So happy baby we did on the floor today. So technically it's just a happy baby, but just here. So you don't even have to grab your feet, right? Because there's not really a point, right? Because we have more bounce here. So you can just grab your legs, and that's level 1. Level 2 is you can come back a little bit further. And when you come back further, you can take your arms and use your arms and get into a comfortable way, and then get a little bit more sort of vertical. And of course, we're moving towards shoulder stand, but we're not going toward it. We don't need to support our back here. But if you would like to try it without the bolster, you can, right? All you have to do is bring the legs a little bit further back, and then you just literally use your hands to kind of keep you from falling down. But your legs can just relax. You don't have to do, straight legs. You can just relax. This is known as snail. And again, it's a beautiful posture. I love it. I had to learn that your head should be totally relaxed, so you don't want to go all the way back. And again, for those on the bolster, you'll notice it's not that far off. So again, don't worry if you're on the bolster. We're just bring the bolster higher up to give yourself more lean. Right. Again, it feels good with both. I don't know which one I prefer more at this point, so I guess I'll just stay here since I'm already here. And we'll just relax and we'll close our eyes and go inside and we'll start to feel. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. This is where you're really going to have to work for that exhale. That's where a lot of people don't realize your diaphragm actually flexes or contracts on the inhale. We think because we do things on the exhale that we're actually like using our muscle on the exhale, but we're actually relaxing on the exhale. The diaphragm is actually coming out. So from this angle, with all this pressure, it's almost a little bit harder to get that nice, long, peaceful exhale. A little bit more different when you're upside down. It almost feels that it's easier to inhale than it is to exhale. But I would argue to you that you should explore that feeling and maybe why it feels that it is. Go into that experience. It's amazing what kind of sensations you can get from breathing. And it's one of the things that you can really look at in your yin practice when you're doing these postures, is just how these postures make you feel. And then when you add the pranayama, which is any type of breathing sort of, specialization. So I just gave the recommendation that would technically be a pranayama, For this class, we're breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, or in through the nose, out through the mouth, and we're allowing that to push down into the abdomen, right? There's all sorts of sensations that can come just because you're doing this special breathing technique, right? It feels when you exhale it and your belly button's going down, 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 all of a sudden you feel this weird feeling. There's all sorts of things that can come. That's why I'm saying you're exploring. And the more you can explore your body, the more you can understand it, the more you can walk it, talk it, live it, be it. Oh wait, you are it. You are yourself. So let's embody ourselves and let's embody our best selves. And that's the beauty of being a snail, right? When you embody your best self, right? What you embody is beautiful. That's your shell, right? That's your safety. Right? It's all about being safe. We can't shine as spiritual people unless we're safe. Right? There's no shine without safety. Right? The safety is what makes us shine. So really feeling that as we rest in our snail pose, just down, down, down towards the ground. For maybe 30 seconds to a minute more, just relax. Feel that shifting from the hips towards the heart. And again, it's just a little bit of a tilt in that tailbone. I mean, just what we were trying to do today when we were doing our bridge pose, but our legs were in the opposite direction. They're on the floor, so it was really hard to maintain this curl. Now it's super easy. It feels great. So just enjoying all that energy circulating through the body twice as hard to bring fresh, rich oxygenated blood up to the feet, right? Breathing all the way in and all the way out. And we'll do one Brahmari just to clear and close this posture. Deep breath in. You'll always notice that the Brahmari is a little bit more steady here, a little calmer, gentle. It's because of all the extra pressure, right? You're sensitive to it, you can feel. And just wait, it's going to feel absolutely magical to go into Shavasana. So slowly, slowly bring down the soles of the feet down to the floor, nice and easy. Take your time. You may feel that your lower back feels a little bit like plastic. That's okay, right? Lift your hips up high, right? You can remove that object. I'm just going to put it below me because I'm going to use it for my Shavasana. Good. Once my soles of the feet get to the floor, tailbone tilts up and down. All right, just feel it. Roll it out on the floor for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now, with your tailbone relaxed, stretch out your legs. If you're like me and you have the bolster underneath your legs, it just helps. I just like the feeling it gives me, prevents the tailbone from dropping too far. I don't really mind it, but it does feel nice some days to have it. So it's there now, so I'm going to use it. And that's the beauty of it, right? Just allowing everything to relax from nose to toes. Deep breath in. And deeper breath out. Breathing all the way in. And breathing all the way out. And feeling our whole practice today as we move into our Shavasana. This is our best chance, right? It's like getting to the top of the mountain. The top of the mountain is the best view for seeing the sunrise or the sunset because it's the highest point. That's just science, right? That's just fact. Again, the same goes with us right now, right? Where is the best view? Right? Where is the best place inside yourself? Right? To witness and see, what is most beautiful, that which they call your spirit, right? Your soul, your energy, yourself. All that light, all that love lives inside us. And when we close our eyes, go inside, you can really, really start to feel it. It's just like being at the top of the mountain. It's just the best place to see it, wherever you are. A lot of people think it's better to see it at the top of the mountains or in the jungles. Right? And it is, it's beautiful, but if you're really wanting to see it, right, it has nothing to do with the place, it has to do with the space. And yourself has been with you your whole life. So to get to know yourself, to do what Socrates says, to truly know thyself, right, to truly know thyself in almost a spiritual way, right, is to not only know every little piece about yourself, but also to understand how every piece about yourself is shared with everything else. And that's where you really start to surrender, because that's the sweet spot where bliss, where joy, where acceptance, right? Where creativity, where imagination, where the things that really excite us can come to life, because we're that relaxed. The beautiful poetic line in the book that writes, "The deeper we dig, the higher we fly. The end unearths the beginning." The deeper we dig, the higher we fly. So the lower we go, the higher we go, because the more we explore within, the more we can understand around us, because it's all being seen through the lens of our own perception. And our self is engaging with all these other relationships. And so the unification of that, the understanding, the realization is the yoga. In order to get there, we have to realize. In order to realize, we have to liberate. Okay? We have to get out of our own way, clear the way so that the path to perception is clear. That the mind is as open as the heart, because the mind is the heart. And the body is as strong as the heart, because the body is the heart. Because we've gone beyond the organ into the organism. One Brahmari, all together, deep breath in. Feel from your organs through the whole organism of your human beingness. Breathe through that one strong Brahmari to clear. One more deep breath in. Hold the breath in for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, let it go. Beautiful. Rock your head side to side. Twinkle your fingers like stars. Roll out through the soles of the feet. Rock the knees side to side. When you're ready, lean onto left or right side and help yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Now remember, when you sit down, you can sit on the bolster because it is just so nice and comfortable, right? That's the beauty of sitting up on the bolster. Oh. Again, no need for our square pose if we want to just open up those hips because we're sitting higher. Or again, if we're on the ground, the knees stay down, right? Regardless what it is, we want to be in a position that is always comfortable, because there's nothing going to happen if you're not comfortable. And then when you're comfortable, you start to find that comfortable edge. Breathe through it and start to move very vigorously your hands together. Breathing all the way in and all the way out. Just focus on that breath right now. Heart forward, heart back. Just let those palms open up and just experience the space within and around you at your place. Because at each of our places, we're sharing this space right now, this feeling, right, of what's within to what's around us. And as we breathe and feel this space within and around us, really understanding our relationship to it. Our relationship is not, right, to reach, right, is not to grasp, but to reach. The whole point is to reach, right? It's not to give up, but to give in, right? It's not to let go, but to let be. And so the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and that step is each and every breath we take, each and every practice we take when we do yoga. Because yoga, and the more we do it, slowly, stops becoming something we do and starts becoming something we are. And let's seal this practice. Let's clear with one strong Om as we slowly close the palms together. Deep breath in. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. In your hearts, in your lives, in everything that you see, are, and be. The divine in me sees and shares the divine in you, in love, with love, through love. Thank you, everyone, for coming out today. Namaste. Yay! You're so welcome. Namaste, guys.